Do not spend money on paid traffic until free traffic works. Because if it's not going to work free, it's definitely not going to work paid. If you think about creating content with a long-term horizon in mind, then you'll be okay with spending a couple $1,000s or a couple $100s on some editing, some videos, just to have some help, because you don't see that as an expense, you see it as an asset, right? You guys have to be comfortable spending some money sometimes on some of these things, because it will literally change people's perception of you. Here's free for traffic and lead gen strategies. The first one is LinkedIn. So what we do is we post 2 to 3 times a week. We use storytelling, and we use LinkedIn search. Now, if you guys are sitting there and you're like, dude, you're killing me. I don't have time for this. This is so much stuff. I'm trying to buy buildings. I'm trying to buy real estate. I didn't get into this business to sit on my phone for 3 hours. I got you. Here's something you guys don't know about my business. We actually have people internally that are ODRs. ODRs are Opportunity Development Representatives. Now, what they do is a lot more than I can cover here, but there's actually a full training about it in Skool as well. So literally everything from what the role is, how to have the person do the job, literally the playbook. So if you hire an ODR, we'll talk about it. By the way, you can hire an ODR for $4 an hour. So if you can afford $4 an hour, skip a coffee every once in a while, you're good. That's what we're talking about. $4, $5, $6 an hour, you'll get a high quality ODR. And we have the playbook for how to train them. You literally give them the manual that we use, the ODR playbook. And then you have a playbook for how to manage that person. Because I know all of you guys love managing people, so we'll show you exactly how to do that in a simple way. The second way, it is in 6, target investor outreach. Yeah. The second one is Facebook. So join and engage in real estate groups. Go live once a week and post deal-related content. You guys got that? A simple way to do it. By the way, all this is in your unfair advantage. So you can literally just take the content from there, and I'll go through it. Instagram, TikTok, why these ones are good is because you can literally just take short form content, like 20, 30-second clips, and then have them driven to your lead magnet. Has anyone ever had this where they're like, okay, Mike, I'm in. Where do I make the checkout to? Do I make it out to, your name? You're like, no, you make it out to 123 LLC. That's proof that they don't know what the name of the company is, nor do they care. They're investing in you. They're literally buying you. That's what this is. So why do I use Instagram and TikTok? It's because you have short form content. So even this event, we have 3-4 hours of content. There'll be little 20, 30-second snippets that are going to become short form content. So I don't sit down and say, okay, I'm going to create short form content today. I just film what I'm doing, and then my team takes it and cuts it up and uses it for whatever they're going to use it for. So that's another fallacy, is people are like, well, I need to focus on creating this during these hours. How are you going to mandate being creative between 11 and 12 p.m.? I can't do it, right? So I just film what I'm doing, and then bits and pieces of that gets taken, and then they create the videos out of it. And Instagram and TikTok is very good for short form stuff. So biggest mistakes, examples, 3 mistakes first-time investors make. The number one thing I look for in a real estate deal, how we secured a deal before it hit the market. 4th one is YouTube. And this is probably my favorite because it's long-form content. By the way, has anyone ever turned on their YouTube and just started watching a video and then 45 minutes go by and you're like, what happened? We've all done this, right? So I want to be the video that you watch when that happens, right? Because we all do this while we're driving, while we're absorbing content. It's long-form content that does really well on YouTube. It's not 3-minute, 4-minute videos. Those actually irritate most people on YouTube. You go on YouTube to watch 30-minute or 3-hour pieces of content. That's what YouTube is for. Now they're trying to do the short-form stuff too, but that's Instagram, that's Facebook. Those are other markets. YouTube is long-form content. So examples. I did an interview with Ken a few weeks ago at his studio in Phoenix. At the time, the tariff thing had just kicked off. We were going to talk about something else, but I'd shown up in the studio, and Trump is talking about 51st state and all this other stuff. So Ken's like, hey, can we talk about this? I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's see where this goes. And we had fun with it, right? But the point is that video had 70,000 views within the first few weeks. And like how much would you pay for those impressions, right? It's wild. And again, why did I get on Ken's show? Because it's very clear that I have a very specific unfair advantage. You guys have your own unfair advantage that you just got to position to the right people. That's really what that is. So long form, like I said, people are searching for it, and this content is relevant for years. That's another thing. When you guys create content with intent, whether you're trying to find off-market deals and your angle is to figure out how to buy off-market deals, or your angle is to figure out how to show investors that you're credible and trustworthy, if you think about creating content with a long-term horizon in mind, then you'll be okay with spending a couple $1,000s or a couple $100s on some editing, some videos, maybe having a camera guy come out, whatever it is, just to have some help, because you don't see that as an expense, you see it as an asset to your business, to your brand, right? You guys have to be comfortable spending some money sometimes on some of these things, because it will literally change people's perception of you. Plus, my team, my sales team, whether it's on the investment side or on the inner circle side, when clients are skeptical because maybe they haven't met me before, they send them the YouTube channel. They absorb 2, 3, 4 videos, and they're like, okay, I guess this guy's legit, right? Like immediately the confidence goes like this, because they see other familiar people they've seen, whether it's me with Pace Morby or Kiyosaki or Ken McElroy or whatever it is. Immediately it's like, oh, okay, well, if he's in their circles, then he must be half decent. Okay, I'll have a call, right? So that's one of those things. And the cool thing is that actually starts to compound on itself over a period of years. It's a compound effect. Like 4 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do the things that I'm doing today, but because I started doing them, now it's like I'm keynoting at Brandon Turner's event, I'm doing Ken McElroy's thing again. Like but you start somewhere with an intention. I knew that when I started teaching this, I knew I would be the capital guy. I knew that that was my position in the marketplace. So whenever I got asked on a podcast or on an event, people would want to talk to me about other things, but I would always somehow bring it back to how that affects capital, because that was the topic I always wanted to talk about. So for you guys, it might be medical, it might be dental suites, it might be multifamily, it might be development, storage, apartment, like investing in the US as a Canadian, like whatever your shtick is. All of you guys will, why I invest in Alberta, for example, like that. You're up in Canada too, right? So it's like you'll figure out your shtick and just stick to it. There's a lot there. Now, let me give you guys the other side of this coin, paid traffic. So this is all free stuff. And again, I'm gonna say one more time, do not spend money on paid traffic until free traffic works. Because if it's not gonna work free, it's definitely not gonna work paid, right? Has anyone paid for like LinkedIn ads or Facebook ads or any of this stuff? Yeah. No? Yeah. Okay. I have a visual for you in a minute. I'll show you my secret, okay? I'll show you that. But the reason for it is, and marketers won't tell you this because they want you to spend the money so that you can hire them and do whatever. Right. The reason why they'll take your money is because they want the engagement. But every marketer knows that the first thing you should do is prove it organically. That's the way you should be doing it. That's just the way to do it first. So once you've figured out organically what works and what's kind of generating interest, the first thing in my mind is speaking at investor events or conferences for 2 reasons. One is you're in front of your ideal audience, but 2, for the camera. So any major event I speak at, I bring Chris. Chris, you're gonna be, by the way, he's already booked, guys, but maybe he has some time for some of you guys. But I fly Chris around everywhere. He lives, you're in Toronto, right? I fly him from Toronto to here, to Dallas, Salt Lake City. I've flown him all over the country. Because for me, it's consistency. I know exactly the kind of product he's going to produce as far as the video. So, and it's not cheap, but I'm happy to do it because I see it as an asset. Because when I'm speaking on a stage in front of 200 or 2,000 people, he captures footage from different angles at that same conference that we can then repurpose and reuse for all kinds of other reasons. See, if you're just relying on the event coordinator to do that for you, they're not going to do it. You're not their priority. They have their own stuff to deal with. And even simple things, when we did the multifamily conference, there's like 3,000 people there. I got off stage. I stood at the booth for 7 hours? And neither of us went to the bathroom. I have no idea how we did this, but we were at the booth for 7 hours, and we captured 7 hours of footage of me talking with my investors and potential clients and it was insane. The amount of footage, we used that footage for like 6 months because you had like 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here, 2 minutes here, 3 minutes here. Like it was, and I didn't have to think about it. I just answered questions, right? So the reason why I make this the first one for you guys is, again, getting in front of your ideal audience is what's going to make the investment justified. But the fact that you're in front of your audience as an authority figure and that's being captured externally as well is something that you could reuse for everything else. So it's really important that you make this the first one because it'll be your compounding effect on everything else. Second one is, once you have this in place, is paid email blasts to investor databases. So I did a thing with Best Ever. They're, Best Ever, Joe Fairless. I did a thing with him where we did an email blast to their database. They hit their entire list on our behalf. I mean, it wasn't a spammy email. It was value add. It was, hey, I think it was a copy of my book at the time, whatever it was. And we got in front of a couple thousand people. Just like that. Was it worth whatever we paid for it? Yeah, I'm sure it was. So that to me is targeted and specific. But again, this one will only work once you have this in place, because you have to have that authority frame. Otherwise, they're just going to ignore you. And the third one that I'd recommend is strategic sponsorships and partnerships. So as an example, one of the things that I've done is, so Ken McElroy's event Limitless is run by, there's a specific events company, Fixated Events. Fixated Events runs Limitless, and they run Brandon Turner's event, and they run one more event. So do you think it's a coincidence that I'm speaking at multiple of those events? No, it's a strategic partnership with the events company. Because I know their events, I know their schedule, I know the stage setup, I know everything. So basically, I write a check before there's even a brochure for the event. And I'm a proven commodity to them now, so they'll use me for multiple events. And it makes it easier for them because it's one less event it's one less spot they have to sell to someone else. So, but again, it's a compounding effect that kind of builds on itself. So those are strategic partnerships and sponsorships. Another thing you could do, depending on your background, Michelle's not here today, but she's a CPA, accounting firms, legal firms, financial advisors, wealth planners, M&A guys, people that sell businesses, corporate finance guys, bank financing, like whatever your unfair advantage is, you just plug into that and find out not how to sell anything, but try to find a way to deliver value to that community with whatever expertise it is that you have. You don't have to sell to those people. Just go deliver value and just show up enough times and they'll be like, okay, great, how can I help you? Well, I got this thing over here. Okay, great, and they're like $5 million. Like it's just, it's, the bigger the numbers, the less you talk about the deal, which is insane. Like it's just, that's just how it works. So other paid traffic spots. So Brandon, I know you're doing this one, podcast sponsorships and guest appearances. So Brandon, the reason why we're asking you about it is because it's a good one, but we recommend it later once you have these other ones in place because you want to have the compounding residual benefit of it. It's a good medium, but it's not the first one, but it's a good like secondary, tertiary activity to do that really helps. And then finally, and this is literally the last one, is ads and retargeting ads. So if some of you guys, do you guys see my ads on anywhere on Facebook or Instagram? Okay, you guys can skip them, man. That shit costs money. So just, you guys are here now, so just skip. No, I'm kidding. You can watch it if you want. But the way it works with ads is if you see the original ad and you've gone through my funnel, but you haven't done the activity that's tied to the funnel, then you don't get that ad anymore. You start to get retargeting ads. Retargeting ads are like long form clips in the form of an ad. But when you click on it, it takes you back to the funnel that you opted out of the first time. So for example, it might be an interview with me and Pace Morby or Robert Kiyosaki or Ken McElroy. So it's just me coming back to you in a different frame with similar information from a different angle. That's all it is. That's a retargeting ad. And retargeting ads only go to people that have already engaged in the stuff that you originally posted. So it's a very unique way to do it. So the reason why I put ads at the end, guys, is because Facebook will take your money and they will cut through your budget like a hot knife through butter. They do not care. And it's not good or bad, it just is. It just is. I'll talk more about that in a second. The third funnel is the group funnel. Now the group funnel, I have a bunch of these. Some of you guys may recognize these. I have one called National Multifamily Real Estate Network. I have How to Raise Capital in Facebook. There's about 4,000. And then I have a newer one called Capital Connectors in Skool. So what's interesting about these funnels is that you guys need to think about the intent that people would have that you're targeting to have a way to send them somewhere where they're not ready to do business with you yet. Either because the circumstances, money, they're selling a business, they don't trust you yet, whatever it is, there's got to be a way to build some credibility with those people. Pace Morby, he has the sub 2 community, if you guys know, right? That is a massive community. And for him, I was talking about this, his community is all parts. It's the deal, it's the money, it's the mentorship, it's the training, it's all of it. So whatever part of the business you want to plug into, he's built it in a way where it's everything to everybody. Now, it didn't start that way, but that's what it is today. Now, the thing with Pace too is that his community is all typically, they have multifamily too, but a lot of the single family, there's the first deal, first house, he has that thing called now, No One Left Behind Challenge, where he's basically helping you get your first deal within 7 days. So again, different audience than mine, but my whole point is if you have intent for the kind of people you want to attract, your group, your funnel will kind of name itself that way.